Good morning, profitable people. Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, and welcome to Market Caller for today, the 24th of March 2025. Here in this session, we'll take you through the top-down analysis of your favorite currency pairs and indices as we look at what we're expecting to get from them for today and the possible trades that are available for us based on these markets for today. So we're going to be going straight into the chart as we proceed with our analysis for today, starting off with dollar index, and then we're going to also be moving into the Euro USD and GBP USD. These are the things that we're going to be analyzing today. So get ready as we take you through the analysis for the day, okay? All right, so let's start with the dollar index and then we'll proceed to the Euro USD and GBP USD. Now, looking at the dollar index on a weekly time frame, you can see that not so much has been done over the past 2 weeks. These are the candles of the last 2 weeks on the dollar index. You can see that it has not done so much, it has not moved so much from where it originally started last 2 weeks ago. Yes. So this has been where the dollar index has been stuck in. We're expecting it to break out of that range, at least to give us some decent retracement all the way here before we see another round of sell on the dollar index. So right now, dollar index is looking pretty much undecisive and it has not gotten any bearing on the next line of direction that is going to be trading. So for now, we'll just be staying out of the dollar index and watching what is going to happen on the weekly time frame. On the daily time frame, similar thing, you can see that it has been stuck within this range. Or look at the 4-hour time frame also. You see that the dollar index has just been in a tight, in not so much of a tight range, but in a very wide range. You can see how wide it has been from the beginning here. This is where the range started all the way to this level here. So from here to here, this has been the range of the dollar index that has not traded away from this level yet. For me, I'm expecting to see it make one more push to the upside before it finally sells. So this is what I'm expecting. Okay, so this is what we're expecting to happen. Now that it has sold off, now we've seen some accumulation or consolidation, as you may call it, right here. We're expecting one push to the upside and then continue selling to the downside if that is going to be the case. So we've also seen signs of weakness in the dollar index in the past couple of weeks until the last 2 weeks where it got stuck within this range. So for me, I'm not really expecting so much from the dollar index. I'll be looking forward to seeing what other currency pairs aside the dollar index. I'm looking at individual currencies in this case, like the GBP. I'm looking at it as a standalone currency. I'm looking at the euro. I'm looking at the JPY as standalone currencies and be trading them in accordance to what I have as sentiment towards them. So if I have a sentiment for a bullish GBP, I'm going to be taking bullish. I'm going to be taking bullish positions on GBP USD, GBP JPY, and the likes. Same way, if I have a bearish sentiment on the JPY or a bullish sentiment on JPY, I'm going to be affecting that across all the other pairs. Okay, so for now that the dollar index is looking indecisive, this is how I'm going to be trading these other pairs. Okay, now let's take a quick look at GBP Euro USD first, and then we'll look at GBP USD. Now, looking at Euro USD on the weekly time frame, Euro USD is looking set and clear for a retracement. I'm expecting that retracement to happen and sell off all the way to somewhere around here. I think we marked this level some couple of days ago. So we're expecting Euro USD to take a trade all the way here and then to resume the bullishness to the upside. Overall, we're bullish on Euro USD. We're expecting some decent retracement and then we'll take it back up. Now, if you draw your flip tool, you can see that this level is at the midpoint between 50 and 61.8. That is discount enough for a resumption of the Euro USD buy. So for me this week, I'll be looking for a sell-off on Euro USD and then a buy back up. Now, when we're selling Euro USD, we're looking to get about 200 pips off that trade. And we are considering 1.06336 as the place where we're going to be terminating our sell. So we're selling from 1.08435 all the way to 1.06388. Yeah, 1.06388. That is where I'm selling Euro GBP, Euro USD too. So this is what I'm expecting. Move here and then move back here. Okay, this is my expectation on the Euro USD for this week. So let's look out for trades on the day or trades for the day as we are anticipating that move on Euro USD. Now for Euro USD, we might see a push to the upside to trade into this fair value gap right here before that sales happen, because this move to the upside to take out this fair value gap might grab some liquidity on its way. And if you look at it on the 1 hour time frame, you see all the liquidity that I'm talking about. So my see Euro USD make one push all the way here and then sell off, okay, because of this move here. Now, if it doesn't make the move all the way to this level, there's something else I would want to show you on a 15 minutes time frame, which I use a lot of times for my entries. Now, I like to mark the last order block here and this last move and then drag it, extend it all the way to the left-hand side. Now look at it. I'm anticipating one more push of Euro USD to this level. If it doesn't trade all the way here, then at least it should trade into this level here, and then I'm expecting a sell-off from there. So this is where I'm expecting Euro USD to sell from for today. So I'm going to be showing you my position on Euro USD today. Quite a tight stop loss. I mean, if your broker allows you to have that, then why not enjoy it? So this is where I'm expecting Euro USD to trade to, and then I'll take my trade for the day all the way to the downside. And then when we're taking it to the downside, these are the liquidity points they're expecting to grab all the way here. So if I see Euro USD trading into this level, I would be taking my trade from here to the downside. Okay, let me show you the part two. One more push here, and then to the downside. So you can replicate this chart markup. My entry point is somewhere around 1.08550, and stop loss is at 1.08656. Take profit is at 1.07207. So you can take a quick screenshot of this. I'll leave this here for a minute, for a few seconds, and I'll take it off. So you can take a quick screenshot of this and then join us on this jolly ride to making profit from Euro USD as we start this week. Okay, so this is my trade call. This is my trade signal for Euro USD. All right. Okay. So I believe you all would have taken screenshots of that to be able to replicate it in your various chatting platforms. Now, this is most likely going to be my trade for the day. Okay, so if once this triggers, I'm taking this trade, and if it moves in the direction that I'm looking at, I think this trade may run into tomorrow, and that's going to be a very good start for the week, grabbing about 100 plus tips in profits to start off the week. That is quite decent enough, and I hope we are able to take advantage of it and make as much profit as possible from it as well. Okay, now let's look at GBP USD. Now, looking at GBP USD, as usual, we like to look at it from the daily time frame. Now, looking at the daily time frame, it will seem as though not much has been done until we move to the 4 hour time frame, and you see that our structures have been shifting to the downside. Now, for GBP USD, I'm expecting it to retrace so much, just like I expected Euro USD to retrace. Okay. Now, if you look closely, you see that there is an order block in between, a fair value gap rather, in between 50% fib level and 61% fib level, right? Now look at this other block. Fair value gap. I keep saying other block. Now let's get rid of the old markups so that the chart is looking clear. Now look at this fair value gap right here. I'm expecting a sell-off of GBP USD into this level while the dollar is being indecisive, and then a buy back up. So my trade for GBP USD this week will be a sell-off into here and then a buy back to this place. Okay, so this is what I'm expecting, and I've shown you how I came to that conclusion. That's expanded a lot, taking out liquidities to the upside, and then right now using our FIB tool, we're expecting it to trade into a discount level. Remember, we don't buy at premium; we try to buy at discount and then sell at premium. So using that logic, we would be looking forward to point of interest around 50, 61, and 78 levels. Now around 50 and 61 levels, there's a fair value gap right here. Okay, now I'm expecting GBP/USD to trade into this fair value gap and then be buying it back to the upside. So that is what I'm expecting on GBP/USD. Now, if you look at the 4-hour time frame, you can see that there was a structure shift somewhere around here, and that structure shift is also telling us that we are expecting more sales on GBP/USD to the downside. Now let's look at 1-hour time frame so we can get possible trades for the day. Now, if you look at the 1-hour time frame also, you see that that shift is happening, the shift in structure is happening, and that should form the retracement we're expecting to the downside. Somewhere around 1.27500 is my expectation of the GBP/USD sell. All right. And then on the 15 minutes time frame, let's get a possible trade for the day. Now, if we just do this quickly. Now, if you see, we have the high of Friday. We're expecting that to be protected for GBP/USD, and then the high of the Asian session has been taken out. So I'm expecting that since all the liquidities that are possibly available to GBP/USD to the upside has been taken out, any shift in market structure right now should initiate a GBP/USD sell to the downside. Okay. Now I'm not seeing any old pattern that have been printed, expecting GBP/USD to get there before selling. I'm just looking at liquidity levels that have been taken out. Now I'm expecting GBP/USD to just sell off to the downside. So what I'll be looking out for is a shift in structure on 15 minutes. If possible, if you are the 5 minutes time frame guy, you can look at 5 minutes time frame and expect this line to be broken and close below. So we expect GBP/USD to close below this line. When it closes below here, you can reference this as a breaker block. Okay, this will be a breaker block when price closes below it. So I'm expecting something like this. Price will close below here, return here, and then sell off. So if this happens, then we'll be looking for a GBP/USD sell from here. You can extend your take profit, your stop loss as generous as possible. I think 15 pips is enough. Then we'll be looking to sell off GBP/USD all the way to the downside, and using 15 minutes time frame. Let's see where our take profit is going to be. Now there's a level that I marked. Okay, here it is. Okay, somewhere around here. Okay, so this will be a good start to the week if it eventually plays out. So for GBP/USD, we're expecting to see this break, for price to break out from this level, break and close below here. Once it does so, I'll be expecting a return to this level, and then I'll be selling it to the downside. So this is my sell trade for GBP/USD. Now let me call out the levels for the trade. My entry is going to be somewhere around 1.29383, 1.29383 at that mitigation block. So at the breaker block right there. If you don't know what breaker block is, this is one of it. It's a good sign that you really need to sign up for FX bootcamp course. Now at the breaker block, I'm expecting GBP/USD to trade back into it after it has broken the structure of 5 minutes time frame, somewhere around 1.29387. My stop loss is going to be at 1.29538, and then my take profit, of course, somewhere around 2.27500. Okay, let's quickly look at that on the 1-hour time frame. Yeah, on the 1-hour time frame, 1.27500. Okay, so I'm going to put my take profit a few pips shy of that. I wouldn't want any drama to unfold as I've said in previous videos, 1.27708. This way I'll be taking a GBP/USD sell 2 from here all the way here. From this level, I'm expecting a buy. So you can set various alerts. I'll drop mine immediately. All right, so you can set your alerts here. I'm expecting a buy of GBP/USD from this level, okay? All right, so this is what I'm expecting on Euro/USD and on GBP/USD. Now, a summary of what I've said so far is that the dollar index is looking indecisive because it's been caught up in a range for the past 2 weeks. So I'll be trading all other foreign currencies, GBP/USD and Euro/USD. And then I'll be looking at the specific currency, GBP and Euro. I'll be looking at them independent of what the dollar is doing. Right now, they're looking like they are not so strong at the moment. So we're expecting GBP weakness, Euro weakness. Hence, I'm looking out for a sell on GBP/USD and Euro/USD until the dollar regains its strength to the upside, or it continues to fall, giving us clear direction of bearishness or bullishness for the dollar. Then I can now trade GBP USD and Euro USD with respect to the dollar. But for now, like I said, I'm trading them independent of what the dollar is doing. And to that effect, I'm taking a sell on GBP USD, like I've shown you the various levels. I'm also taking a sell on Euro USD. I've shown you where I'm entering, where my stop loss is going to be, and where my take profit is going to be. So I hope you're able to take advantage of these trade calls and make some money from it. All right. Okay. So this is going to be a very good reward for the time spent so far running these analysis. So we're going to be wrapping up here, and we'll go on a very short break. When we return, we're going to continue our analysis looking at gold against the dollar. We're going to look at the yen basket and a few other yen pairs. Okay. So this is where we're going to be putting a pause, and when we return, we'll look at the pairs that I've just mentioned so far, right?
Yeah, good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the market call up brought to you by the Value Flow Trading Team. So this morning, that was a great analysis from CJ, and now that we have headway of what we should be expecting on the dollar, it creates a very good base for us to know where exactly we are heading to on the other dollar correlated pair. So this morning, we are going to be analyzing the precious metal, and also we are going to be looking at the yen basket and the yen correlated pairs. So just sit back and let's get to the point where are we heading to. Now, for the precious metals, sometimes last week, we discovered that we are still very much bullish. You can see how the trend is still, pushing all the way to the upside on the weekly time frame. And last week, it created a new all-time high again around the 30,057 level. All right. So this week, what are we expecting? And if you look at it on the daily time frame, we are going to observe that for the daily time frame, price is still very much bullish. However, we see some level of pullback a bit, of which we are still going to see this week. We are still going to see some level of pullback more than continuation of the bullish trend. That also reminds me to tell us that the way precious metals is this time around, you don't trade against the trend. However, when you see any entry that seems like, yes, your real entry signature, just take the little you can and get out of the trade because the trend is still very much bullish. All right. So we won't just be looking. So whenever we see our entry signature, we enter. But on the 4-hour time frame, let's quickly see what exactly do we have on the 4-hour time frame. Now, sometimes last week on Friday, we see how that price, close below this split zone. You can see after the consolidation and the push to the upside, we see a market structure, a break of market structure to the downside. Our price broke this low to the downside. All right. This week, we are expecting more of the long to the upside. First, to play liquidity around this level, then push to the downside here, then we can easily continue our bullish trend all the way to the upper yen basket. Knowing fully well that all throughout last week, the dollar index, just as they have said, to All right, can you hear me loud and clear now? I'm sorry for the glitch in network. So this is what exactly we are expecting to see for the precious metal, all right? And if you look at the 1 hour time frame, what do we have on the 1 hour time frame? For 1 hour, we've seen a market structure shift, but knowing fully well that we are still very much bullish, and we've seen how the support here has been broken on Friday all the way to the downside. And we've seen our market has pushed a little bit up again. So this is more like the market reacting around the flip zone. Okay, so when we mark this place, you are going to see that happens to be much more of a very strong support. Okay, so we should expect that price should react around that level. However, I'm still of the opinion, since we see a clear of liquidity at the top here, so I'm still of the opinion that price should still come a little bit more to take out the Friday high, then we can now begin to, sell a little bit to the downside. But when we go to the lower time frame now, we are going to see, are we going to see buy signature that we can easily follow all the way to take out liquidity here and begin to sell back to the downside again. Okay, so let's check on the 15-minute time frame. What do we have on the 15-minute time frame? We are going to observe on the 15-minute time frame, price is still very much, looking more like bearish to the downside. However, what we have on the higher time frame is still very much bullish. So, like we've always said, that lower time frame makes up the higher time frame. However, the higher time frame controls the lower time frame. So, what we should still look out for, I will be willing to short the precious metal after first this level is taken out, liquidity is taken out here, and the Friday high also is taken out. So that will give some level of confidence into trading of it. However, if you are the type who trade the support and resistance very well, we are going to observe that we have more like price reacting at this flip zone on the 15-minute time frame. If you look at it from the 30-minute view, it becomes much more obvious, but you can see how that price tested those regions to create a all-time high, and now price broke it to the downside. Then we begin to see the struggle there. Now, if this 30-minute candle closes, then that may be some people's signature to enter with the stop loss just above this level. But I am still of the opinion that we may still see the last leg a little bit more to the upside. Our price may still trade into this 15-minute order block or all the way to clear the the Friday high. Then we can now begin. When we see our sell signature somewhere around this place, then we can confidently look for an opportunity to sell the precious metal a bit. Now, the sell is not a long sell. Where do we intend to get out of the trade? You can see how that price reacts. This is the very first level, more of a flip zone where price reacted upside back on Friday. You can see it on the 4-hour time frame. But I'm still of the opinion that this consolidation that we have here, price is still coming all the way to take out liquidity here, just as we mark it out already. Price should still come to take out liquidity, then you can easily follow through to the upside again, since we are very much bullish. All right, so that is my outlook for the precious metal this week. Just a quick one to Japan to see what is happening on the yen basket. All right, so if you look at the yen basket, we've been expecting it to trade all the way, particularly on the daily time frame. We've been expecting price to come all the way into this POI for a long while now, but prices was approaching that level, then begin to push to the downside again. So moving forward, we still expect that price should still push a little bit more to that level. We want to see some level of strength on the yen basket moving forward. Okay, now for the 4-hour time frame, we are going to observe that price is still consolidating in a very big range, and even from the daily time frame, that the whole of this price action that we are seeing here is more of a range. However, we still expect it to push all the way to the premium of that range. Then we can easily begin to sell if there is any opportunity here to sell. So we can't start selling the yen basket in a discount of this range. So we expect it to push all the way into the premium and the daily reference point. All right. So if we look at the 1-hour time frame too, we are going to observe that that is exactly what price is doing. So we are still expecting all these buy side liquidity signals then begin to follow through for the yen basket. Now, if we are looking for the long of the yen basket, what should we now look out for GBP JPY? the other yen correlated pairs. Remember on Friday, we were looking to short GJ somewhere around this level, which we took in the course of the analysis during the London session. All right. Now, moving forward, there's already a level we also marked that we expect price to come all the way into, which is this 4-hour order block that we have here. But early this morning, we see how that price, approaches that level, but is not a very clear trade because price did not really trade into the order block. So we can still see one more leg of price, coming all the way to tap proper into that order block. Then when we see our sell signature, we can begin to sell. But jumping in now, it looks more like it's not really a very good trade jumping in now. All right. So I'm still of the opinion that we should still see price, come all the way and tap proper into the 4-hour order block. And as a matter of fact, there's high probability for price, to come and take out this particular double top that we have here. So if you see price tap into the 4-hour order block and it gives a sell signature, our sell signature, that is what we actually teach our FS bootcamp students. Our sell signature, when we see it somewhere around the 4-hour order block of GG, then we can easily short GG. And knowing fully well that just as CG already analyzed that, we are looking out for a bearish GBP USD. So it really makes a lot of sense if we are also seeing more like GBP JPY2, more of a bearish trade for GBP JPY. So I'm still of the opinion that we may still see the last leg of GJ all the way into this 2-hour order block and we begin to follow through to the downside. Now on the 15-minute time frame, the now trade of GBP JPY, it has not given a very clear mark. So that's the reason why we are not going to enter again. And at the same time, the entry signature on the 15-minute time frame, we've not really seen it play out well. All right. So we have to be very calm to see how that price reacts to those levels, and we can easily follow through that way. Okay. So that is that for GBP JPY. All right. So a quick one to AUD JPY, then Euro JPY as we round up for today. For AUD JPY, let's start from the daily time frame too. If you look at AUD JPY on the daily time frame, we are going to observe that price is still very much looking more of a bearish trend, yes, but after this pullback, we expect that price to also trade more to the lower side, knowing fully well that we are expecting more of a long on the yen basket, particularly on the daily time frame for the yen basket. Now, for 4-hour time frame, the reference point for AUD JPY is still also there. So we still expect that price should trade into this fair value gap and also this split zone that we are having here on the 4-hour time frame. As we can all see, this is more of a flip zone, and at the same time we have the fair value gap and another block there. So we expect that price to come all the way into that fair value gap and tap into the order block. Then we can easily begin to short AUD JPY. Now on the 1-hour time frame, what are we seeing for AUD JPY on the 1-hour time frame? Now for 1-hour time frame, I'm of the opinion that price is most likely to come and take out this high or react inside that 4-hour order block. So if price takes out this high, then we should look out for a sell or more of price coming to the 4-hour order block, giving an entry for a sell inside this particular zone. When price give an entry for a sell inside this zone, then we can easily follow through for AUD JPY. Now, what is the now trend for AUD JPY? We've not seen any market structure shift, neither do we see any clear entry signature for AUD JPY. All right, so we just have to wait a bit and see what plays out in the market in the course of this London session open. All right, so let's trade cautiously and use our risk management strategy. Now, lastly, to Euro JPY, what are we seeing on Euro JPY? Now, for Euro JPY on 4-hour time frame, remember last week we were expecting price to trade proper into the split zone. How that we expect that price should rally all the way into this level. And we can see earlier as of today, price traded into it, but we want it to come all the way into at least 50% of this fair value gap, which is this line you're seeing here, but it still remains a little bit more. And if you look at it on the 1 hour time frame, you can see that price just stylishly tapped into the fair value gap, and that's why we are seeing this pattern. All right, but I'm still seeing more of the flip zone inside of this level. So this is the level I'm looking out to short AUD JPY from, and even from the 15-minute time frame, we've not really seen that clear, signature there printing out here. Yes, it looks like it, but it's not it because of this candle that we have here. All right, so I'm still of the opinion that we may still see more of price, moving sharply to the upside again, then give the proper signature, then we can easily follow through to the downside. So that is our outlook for the GBP JPY, Euro JPY, AUD JPY, and also for the precious metal. If there's any question, you can easily type in the chat box. Let's quickly address it before we call it a day. All right. Yeah, thank you very much. World Place Trading. Thank you very much, sir. All right. So if there's no question, remember our FS Bootcamp training is starting today. And if you are not part of it, you can still join as the training begins today. And at the same time, you can easily enroll for the next month's class. Remember that is where you can easily get those terminologies we are talking about and our entry signature too. All right, so those are the level we are looking out for. All right, yeah, Mr. Labode says kindly share GJ on daily time frame using the P. Thank you. All right, okay. Oh, GJ. Good. If you look at GJ currently now, you are going to observe that on the daily time frame, look at which of the swings are you considering? Which of the swings are you considering? Sorry, let me quickly take note of something here. Okay. All right. So which of the swing are you considering on the daily time frame? Yeah, if you look at the daily time frame, you are going to see that yes, price is still very much, bearish all the way to the downside because this low has been taken out. All right. Uh, okay. Looking at this swing low here. Okay, good. Now, if you look at the whole of this level, particularly this last move all the way to the downside, we are going to observe that price really retraced into more like 61% fib level. If you look at this last swing to the upside. Okay, now this is more like giving us that price looks more of a bearish trend for GBP. However, if you look at it from this perspective, how that price take out this low and also more of taking out this high too, you can see that we are more like stuck in a range within this zone. All right, we are more like stuck in a range within this zone. Okay, and on the daily time frame, you can see how that price is reacting to this other block that we have here. Can you see the other block that we have here? This particular other block here, which take out this high. Okay, that's you build a case for your trade. Now, this particular other block takes out this high, and you can see on the daily time frame, that is exactly where price came to test, and that is why we refine a little bit more into the 4-hour time frame. And to the 4-hour time frame, we want that confluence to be much more clearer, and that is why we are still skeptical about it going in right now because price is still very much, just playing around this zone. So I expect that price should come all the way and tap into this level proper. Let it tap into this level proper. And if you look at it, it's more a very strong support with another block. Then when we see entry signature here, and easily follow through to the downside. So that is our outlook for GBP JPY. Does that answer your question, sir? Or if you look at it bullish, if you look at it from the daily time frame, after this market structure shift that we see here, you see this massive move since last year to the downside, and we see that price push a little bit back, and you see the flip zone more here. You can see. So we expect that price to come back and continue its trend all the way down. And let's even look at it from the weekly time frame. Yes, on the weekly time frame, we see how that price was bullish, but we have a market structure shift, a massive one for that matter, at this particular region here. You can see at this particular region here, we have a massive market structure shift here, how that price took out this strong support here to the downside and then retraced back into it. So if you draw your Fibonacci all the way from this swing high to this swing low, you see where price reacted from this 1% creep level. So that is why we expect more of price to still push a little bit to the downside. Okay. And on the, even look at something I'm even seeing on the weekly time frame. You see this other block, how that the following week price came back, tap into it again and keep pushing to the downside. So I'm still of the opinion that yes, they are still pushing a little bit more to the downside. And if you look at it from that daily time frame too, you can easily see price reacting to this daily order block. And look at this candlestick pattern here that we have here on the daily time frame. That is telling us that we should see at least the number of pips that is between this level to this level. At least we should see 1:2 of that towards the downside. Okay, so that is the outlook for GBP JPY currently. And even on the 4-hour time frame again, you see the confluence that we have there. So we are expecting that price will still push a little bit more to the downside. And the reason why we don't want to jump in now is because we've not seen a very clear entry. Yes, looking at what price is doing right now, we see price created an order block here and come back a little again into fair value gap, rather came back again into the fair value gap and seems more like a selling. So if we now see the entry signature around this level now, then we can easily enter again and start moving. Okay. So have I been able to answer your question? All right. Thank you very much, sir. All right. So till we meet again by 2 p.m., make sure you trade cautiously. Today being Monday, and use your proper risk management strategy. You need your mental, capital to trade for this week. So don't mess it up at the beginning of the week. All right. Till we meet by 2 p.m., I'm Lekmo Shemi. Cheers and God bless.